So on this episode of Clinically Pressed, we're finishing out our board of directors kind of meet and greets, and with this, I will be interviewing myself, just kind of going over the same questions that we asked the board of directors, and just a little bit more background on why we have made this shift with Clinically Pressed and what we're hoping to get done with it. So, just for those who don't know who I am, my name is Joel Luedke. I'm an athletic trainer by profession, but do a lot of things with strength and conditioning, pretend to get interested in research, but really just enjoy working with people that are much smarter than I am when it comes to that. And was one of the original founding members of Clinically Press, along with Andrew Jagum and Kyle Boland, when we got those started on our Solve the World's Problems coffee hours we used to do every Wednesday morning. 7 years ago or so, I think is when we actually started this. And that kind of developed into Clinically Pressed, the podcast. Recently, we kind of made the big shift to turning into a nonprofit, and that's really what was the driving force of a lot of this. Clinically Pressed, we always wanted to be a good source of information, talking to experts in their field, bringing unique insights, and really having actionable things and information that people could learn and take and apply to their own life. And we had that with the podcast, but we wanted to take it to the next level. And within our group, there's a level of entrepreneurism, but always a hesitancy to sell. And that's one thing that really we wanted to focus on with this shift, and why we decided to go nonprofit is we wanted to be able to provide not only a lot of free resources that really, if you go and you get those as we continue to roll them out, you should be able to accomplish a lot of goals that you're looking for, just having that good baseline. But then we wanted to offer a few upsell things for people that maybe are looking for more specialized program. We have some really smart people on our board in all different walks of professions, and so the more we could provide really affordable things for people that are able to purchase those, we are then able to do more and give back. And so that's where we have a buy one give one for all our services as they're starting to come out, and that's all our kind of pre-templated programs. But we're also doing a 50-50 split on any item that's sold. As 50% goes directly to funding a bunch of our initiatives. The other 50% goes to just building out Clinically Pressed, which doesn't cost a lot to run as a nonprofit, but there is a cost, and so we're going to cover that and then keep sinking as much money as we can back into our fundraising efforts for exertional heat illness equipment, AEDs, home fitness packs, pie in the sky, one of this fitness gym on wheels in a trailer. So a lot of different things that we're looking to go there, but really we wanted to be able to provide all of these things and not feel like we were quote unquote selling. There isn't a, hey, we can help you, but you have to go and look at this pill, powder, potion, or specific program or whatever it may be. We wanted to get those things out there, in addition to continuing the podcast and getting information out there to people across different walks of life, from wellness, health, recovery, clinical performance, just all kinds of different things that you can apply. So our next question that we had is, kind of what unique skills or knowledge does each board member bring? And for me, I consider it one of my biggest strengths, but also one of my biggest weaknesses is I really am paying attention and interested in a lot of different things. And that helps a lot in looking at a lot of different things and being able to tie it together. But I also don't necessarily specialize in any one or two things with that. And that can be a weakness, but I think it's also a strength because it's allowed me to try and be able to break things down a little bit better and try and really come back to an actionable item or a takeaway that someone can apply to their life and get going with it, and not have it just be overly scientific or so nuanced that it's unattainable and not able to apply to what you're trying to do. We also talked about what is the biggest barriers for people getting healthy and active and improving their fitness. And I know I'm speaking for myself, but I think it applies to quite a few people, is the time and figuring out how to prioritize. Uh, Obviously, kind of being a part of Clinically Pressed and working in medicine and being around athletics, I understand the importance of exercise and eating well and everything that goes into that. But I also know that time can be hard, if not impossible, for a lot of people to find ways to build in a workout, to find ways to figure out how to eat a little healthier, or a way that helps you get to where you want to go when it comes to your health, and nutrition and fitness goals. And really, with just the prioritization is so important as well. Like, yeah, I know it needs to get done, but I also really like working on Clinically Pressed and a bunch of other side projects, reading, doing things like that, where sitting, getting up and having coffee and working on those oftentimes sounds like a better use of time than forcing myself into our little home gym or trying to get to the gym. And so really trying to figure out how to prioritize those and getting to the point where you're able to do what you can and making that good enough. And so for me, if I can get 3 times a week working out and really try and keep my kind of diet in check, and by that I just mean not eating extra sugar or those sweets that I don't really need, but they just happen to be there. Or for me, anything with salt and crunch is my kryptonite, trying to keep those to a minimum and making sure that we're limiting that and finding time for those other things is really what my goals are, to try and work around that. Best resource that I've found in my career to help myself and others, for me, it's just external motivation, continuing to find little things that are going to help me keep going. More so recently, as our almost 3-year-old gets up and gets running and wanting to go on little bike rides. I know I am not in good enough shape for all of this, and that's a problem, and that is a motivation of mine now to really get doing that. Had a random blood sugar check as we were testing out some equipment to cover a race, and it was surprisingly high for not a lot of good reasons, and knowing that that isn't okay and isn't going to be okay in the long run. So those things, almost a little scare, if you will, to go and help motivate me. That can be hard to get that motivation to keep going, but I haven't actually read the book, but I listened to a podcast. I'm blanking on his names, but the book is Atomic Habits, and the author was talking about with exercise, having it scheduled for X amount of hours a day can be great because you're blocking off the time. But if for some reason life gets in the way, as we've kind of talked about, don't throw out the entire habit if it's not going to be the whole thing. So his example was, if he had scheduled an hour to work out that day, whatever came up got in the way. He's only got half an hour, but he's able to go and get some quality, squats in, or whatever exercise you want. He didn't throw out the habit just because it didn't happen in its entirety. He still accomplished it. He still got something done, and that's going to benefit him for the future. And that's something I've tried to take into account is, I don't hit movement goals as much as I should, and now anytime I can figure out how to walk or take that little extra, that's what I'm going to do, because it's going to ultimately be beneficial for me to really help and keep moving forward with that. And that's even what I've tried to take the approach with cardio. I don't have to go and do a 15-20 minute or longer cardio workout. If I can get some in and at least get my heart rate up, I'll build that up to where it becomes a little bit easier, so it'll be a lot better to do those as we keep moving forward in that version of my own improvement of health. And finally, in what do you do working with the board of directors? How do you make what is complicated simple? really for me, it's just trying to continue to figure out how to provide good and useful resources that people can take, easily understand, comprehend, and then apply, and trying to really take that viewpoint in everything we do of making sure we're including the science to let you know that this isn't just something that we're coming up with, and that it is backed by good quality evidence and thought processes, but at the same time making it so you can look at it, take it, digest it, apply it, and really make it help you accomplish what you want to as you move forward into the future. So looking at clinicallypressed.org now, we are starting to add resources as of this podcast early May 2023. We got a couple mobility guides up there. We'll be putting up a bunch of nutrition resources here coming soon. Look for exercise templates, just workout templates that you can utilize for whatever your goals are. We'll have free versions of those, and then they will go up in price based on how much is in there. If for some reason you're enjoying one, you're unable to afford the price as we get there, just reach out, info@clinicallypressed.org. We'll figure something out. We'll make it happen. Our goal, again, is to not make money for the sake of making money. Our goal is to figure out how we can generate funds to help get people moving in the direction that they want to, meeting them where they are, and then also looking at that safety aspect with all of that safety equipment that we mentioned. So we look forward to where we're going with this. Everything is live. We're officially a 501c3 nonprofit, which was pretty exciting, and we look forward to seeing what we can do to help people get moving forward. If there's things you need from us, don't hesitate, again, to reach out. We also have a forum. It's not super active yet, but please get on there, start a conversation so we can get everything trending in the right direction. And again, now we're focused on making the complicated simple, but the results that give back. We appreciate everybody that's hung out with us for this long and continue to listen. It means a lot to us. We hope to continue to drive that forward. If you've got things you would like to hear from us, anyone on the board, let us know. We'll make it happen, and we will catch you all next episode.